Let's start our favorite live stream of the week, the Bitcoin weekly live analysis. It's our number 8. So we've been doing some nice content so far, and this is going to be so we're going to be analyzing the previous week past the past week price action, and the idea now is to remove everything from our charts and basically try to formulate a trading plan for next week, for the week to come. And this is what we've been doing for now, maybe 3 months, 4 months, I think.
Yep.
It's been quite a while. I'm really liking this routine, and I think we should do it even more often. But yeah, at least on the weekly basis, we're very regular. Okay, so let's go. Let's move out to our next slide. So it's a legal disclaimer as usual. Nothing changed here. Please take a moment to read it. If you have no idea what risk management is, if you're not familiar with putting stop losses, protecting your capital, or even trading in a more general way, I advise you to really not use your own money for this. Use paper money accounts. You have lots of softwares to do it, or even do it on yourself. I mean, on your own. You just take a piece of paper and you just note your position sizes and you just simulate how much you would have put in any kind of trade, and see once you get out how much take profits you took, and what is your capital after that. But I mean, until you're pretty sure that you can protect your capital and you're not entering trades in a very in a very risky way, I would suggest that you actually pass by this learning phase. It's very important, because if you lose money, it's really your fault. I mean, there's nobody else behind you that is clicking on the straight setup. There's nobody else that's going to refund you if you're wrong or if you make a mistake because you're not used to the exchange or anything. So really take your time. It's not a rush. Learn it on your own, and once you become really confident, then you can start using your own money. I'm gonna give it a few minutes for you guys to read this, and then I think we can get started. So yeah, we had quite an amazing week. We had an amazing bounce, a big pump. We went through all the resistance that we talked about last week, and that's really interesting, because now it's already last week I said that it's opening up opportunities for Bitcoin to start rallying to those 30k levels and everything, and this is what's basically happening. The bullish scenario is happening. So the agenda of today. So we're going to erase everything, indicators, drawings from our charts. We're going to formulate a trading plan after putting all our drawings, levels, pivots, volumes, and everything. You should start to know a bit our routine. And then we're also going to have a quick view on the stock market, on the ES. There is a strong correlation between both assets, Bitcoin and ES. And so it's very important to see what the ES is doing so that you have an edge on the market. And if you guys have any kind of questions, I mean, feel free to ask. Okay. So let us start. So this is where we were last week. Unfortunately, for some reason, my trading view did not save my trading view template for our weekly live sessions did not save all the analysis indicators and everything, but it's okay because every week we start from scratch. Let me, by the way, rename this one. Today we are the 22nd. Okay. And so this is a view, not of today, but on Sunday, 15th of January. So basically last week. Okay. And this is what we had where we were. We were at this area around the 2500, 2800 area. And what we were seeing is that there was a potential break up that is happening. Okay, we had our resistance mapped out. We knew that this area was a resistance right there. Okay, and we were saying, okay, should we break above this resistance? We know where the next resistance is. It's the value area high, which is around here. And above this value area high, we know that there's a 25k pivot. Okay, so let's see very quickly what happened during the week. So we kept on ranging. Okay, you see how we range around this area of resistance, making it's very important to see something. We're making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. We're building liquidity below. That's super cool to see. And we talked about it in the Discord. is that basically people are entering positions here, so shorts and longs, okay? Every single short that was entered, supposedly if people put their stop losses above the wicks, they got stopped out every single time, okay? But the longs, as you can see, they were not challenged. So up until here, all those longs were unchallenged. So there was massive liquidity that was built below. And I had this idea, I talked about it last week, I shared it with everybody, saying that, okay, because we're here and we've been taking all the liquidity above, but below there's resting liquidity and people are in their longs, and we know that the market likes to get everybody out, I envisioned that actually we're going to go low and actually even maybe take this low, that was like the biggest low to take. In the end, we took all the liquidity with this big wick. You can see it. It was on Wednesday. We went down. We took all the liquidity here. We didn't take the last low, which would have been amazing, to be honest. A really, really cool long opportunity. And let's see what happened next. You take people out, and then you have another pump. Okay. And this is where we are now. Oh, sorry, my bad. This is where we are now. So basically, what we can say very easily is that the uptrend is just continuing. There's no weakness. We're just going up and up and up. And what we're doing is very easy to understand. It's a strong uptrend. We're consolidating, pump to the upside, consolidation area, pump to the upside. And now, supposedly, we're consolidating around what? Around the value area high and around this high too, okay? So yeah, this is basically what's happening right now. We're just consolidating after a pump, after breaking the previous consolidation range towards the upside, which is to be expected in an uptrend, okay? We are not taking previous lows. We're not saying, okay, this uptrend is in danger right now. We're facing every single resistance and we're breaking through them, back testing them into support, and then going above and ranging above the previous consolidation area, okay? So just from this point of view, at least locally, since November last year, since the 21st of November last year, we are in an uptrend that is not weakened at the moment, okay? Now, there is a problem in this uptrend, and we talked about it a lot also. It's that you see all this move up and this move up. Well, you're not creating any kind of support inside of those huge pumps, okay? So you have to be aware of something, is that if we should start dropping from here, because we rise super fast, we can drop as fast, okay? And until proven otherwise, we are still in a major downtrend. I mean, if you zoom out a bit, if you want to take the big picture, this is where we are, okay? So it's nice to see that there is this green price action that is potentially telling you, okay, maybe the low is in, or at least locally the low is in, and maybe we can start, reclaiming those higher levels before maybe dropping. But right now, the only thing that you have is a very bearish downtrend, okay, making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And finally, okay, another lower high, a higher low, and now we're making a higher high, okay? But honestly, we are still inside of this range. We haven't taken out which high? This one. And until we take this high and we back test it as a support and we break again and we make another high, we can potentially stay inside of this range. And as soon as we arrive at the 25K area, or even now at the value area high, start dropping towards the lows of the range. Completely possible scenario. And to be honest, probably the most probable scenario that we have so far, okay? So it is good what's happening. We are pursuing the uptrend that we had last week and that we started November last year, actually. We have no sign of weakness, no reason to short so far, okay? You have local scalp trades that you can take for sure, but in terms of a swing trade, for me right now, there is none to take. There is none to take because if you would be opening a swing short in this area, basically what you're saying is that you know that the top is in. But honestly, everybody that's been shorting this uptrend for now maybe 3 months has been wrong, has been losing money, and you don't want to be on their side. You want to be on the side of the trend. So now what you actually really want to do is try to find any kind of retracement, interesting retracement, to enter a scalp long or a day trade long setup that you can then take to the next high, the previous high, and maybe transform it into a swing long and keep on trading this uptrend. And you can just put stop losses and trail your stop losses so you can maximize this move. Okay? Personally, for my situation, I am heavily, how do you say, at risk with Bitcoin because I have basically all my wallets are in Bitcoin and not USDT. So to make it clear, I'm always into a long, basically, because of my spot account. So I'm not really looking that much into trying to finding a long position. If Bitcoin is going up, the wallet is going up, and that's good for me. Now, if I see an interesting long, I will take it. On the other side, if Bitcoin is dropping, I need to protect myself. So I'm much more incentive to find short than long setups, because longs, I just have to keep my spot and it goes up. So depending on your situation, if you have dollars, for example, and you don't have Bitcoins, and you're trading the BTC USDT pair, for example, you have USDT, so Tether, maybe it's more interesting for you to try to catch a long to make sure that your account in dollars and in Bitcoin grows up. Because if you don't catch a long, your account in dollars is not going to change, but your Bitcoin amount is going to be reduced because Bitcoin is going higher and you're not positioned. You don't have spot, you know. So depending on your position, on your situation, you will either want to have more like long setups or short setups to protect yourself, basically, or maximize your gains. So that was a little off topic. Let's start our weekly analysis as usual. Okay. So on the monthly levels, what do we have? We have this level that was hit pretty perfectly. I mean, I'm gonna let you judge that, okay? But this monthly was created at the end of August last year. So basically what happened in August is that we went up, we arrived at 23,313. That was at the end of July. Beginning of August, we opened here, we kept on going up, and then we dropped and we closed way below, okay? And beginning of September, we actually created this monthly level. So this monthly level has been on our charts since September of last year. Almost 5 months now. Yeah, 4 or 5 months. So, and just look at the respect. Look at the respect, because we arrived here and this rise, this is a huge rise that we had. We've had a 52%, 51.6% rise. And what was the top? This monthly level. I mean, look, I can zoom in if you want, but look at this reaction right there. It's great. Oh, my bad. Let me just go on the daily maybe. Look at this reaction right there. It's crazy when you think about it. It's crazy that just a single level like this can provide such a reaction, even when you have such a strong uptrend, you know. So this is why you need to be aware of those high time frame pivots, because they give you really, really nice levels to trade. And of this, you can scalp a short. You can have a short scalp. You take it from here. As soon as you hit the monthly level and then you confirm below it, you enter a scalp short. You put your stop loss below it, above the wick, and then you trade it. And look at where we are now. It provided a 3.78% short opportunity. So this level is really important to have in your chart. It's been hit. Okay. So the reaction happened already. So if you were expecting a trade here and you didn't take it, for me, the trade happened. However, it's a monthly level, and monthly levels, you can expect multiple hits on the lower time frame to see the reaction. It's a high time frame level, so you want to give it some time to see the proper reaction. Should this be the top, you can give it like a few weeks, or let's say a few days, to see whether this monthly level is respected or not. Okay. So monthly level 23,290. That's a very important level. On the lower side, what day are we? We're the 22nd. Okay. So we do have at least a week, a bit more than a week of price action. Okay, a week and 2 days. If in this week and 2 days we don't have a drop of more than 26%, if we don't have this drop, we know that there's a monthly level is going to be formed at this area, okay, at 16,549. And we know for a fact that this area has been a level that we had on our mind during the whole uptrend, even when we were in the lower range. We had this level in mind where we could compound along, okay, but it never retraced toward this area. So this level now is even stronger because there's a monthly pivot that is potentially in play, and we will see this next week, okay? But you can just already mark it on your charts, or have an idea that here you have a monthly pivot that is going to be printed starting February. Let's not put it for now. Probably on the weekly level, we're going to see other levels. We're going to see some intra-week levels that we can mark on our charts. To the upside, what do we have? And I mean, look at that. Should we break the 25K, the next monthly level that we have is at 45,000. So this is what's super important about this price action. And we talked about it during our last stream. We clearly said that we have resistance to break above us, so we're not bullish yet, okay? And we need to see a change on the high time frame market structure. And this change can start with this first high that we took right there at 21,800, basically. But the real change for me would be leaving this range, backtesting the high 25K as support, and making another high. And then, for me, you have a potential 95% rise. Let me put it again. From a monthly level to a monthly level. Okay. Here, it's just 3 months just dropping and dropping. And as you know, when you drop super fast, you can rise as fast. Okay. So what we're saying is that potentially if we get above this 25K area, just on the pure market structure, high time frames, a monthly level, we see that there is no resistance here in terms of market structure, okay? So, should you break out of this range, you open the possibility for a 94% rise to the upside, okay? So it's good to have in mind. And then the next monthly level that we have to the upside is this one, 61K, okay? So we are arriving at those key levels, and we need to see what happens at those key levels. So far, we have a little rejection, okay? This could be then a stronger rejection, and we could see some drop, some heavy drop, to be honest. Should this be the local top? Because we rise super fast, we can get lower super fast as well. But right now, we're not. Right now, we're just consolidating below this resistance and seeing the strength of the uptrend. You don't have any reason to think that this is going to be the local top. You can scalp a trade, but honestly, the trend hasn't shown you any kind of weakness so far. So, let's move on. Oh, I'm on USDT. I'm on USDT. Let me just change that. Okay. And now I understand why I had nothing on my chart, because I was on USDT. Okay. So that's what we had last week. Let me just remove everything. Okay, for the sake of what we're doing, remove drawings. Okay, and I'm just going to put very fast all our levels. Okay, yeah, same respect right there. So I was charging on the USDT pair, which is not the pair that we had last week, which explains why we didn't have the drawings actually, but I just remove them because I don't want us to lose too much time. 45K, it's the same thing. My bad. And then to the high side, we have the 61,000, okay? To the lower side, what do we have? Potentially 16,500, we'll see next week. We have this one right there, okay? 10,700, that's a good level. You have another one lower here, and I think I'm gonna stop here, okay? Why? Because for the same reason that we are very far from this 45K, we're very far from this 9K when we're at 22, especially in an uptrend, okay? This would mean a drop of almost 59%. We're not there yet. So let's just mark those levels, and I think it's going to be plenty enough for to establish a trading plan for next week. So monthly levels, we have them. Okay. Let's move on to the weekly pivots, and that's what I was talking about. On the monthly level, we don't have any monthly support that's created yet, but on the weekly level, we have one right there, created at the beginning of this uptrend. This is why I like this. And you see 16,600. The other one is 16,650. So this is $50 below. Okay. So around this area, we'll have a monthly level as well next week, supposedly. So automatically, this level for me, I know is going to be a key support should we start dropping from here. This is going to be a very, very important support. Okay. So we have a weekly here. Do we have something else below? We don't. The next one below is going to be this level right there. And then you keep on going lower. So I'm just going to mark this one because we marked monthly levels already below. And let's see to the upside, what do we have? Let's try to understand what we had to the upside. So very interesting. We had a couple of weekly levels last week that were above us. And look at what happened. We just blasted through them. And what's also super interesting is that we closed last week at this weekly level, basically, more or less, at 20,904 with a huge wick above it, but we closed below it, so it was a resistance. We opened the next week above it, or actually around the weekly level. We dropped a bit, but then once it was broken, it became a support and it keeps on going up now. So, okay, you can say that this weekly has been completely blasted through, but there was some kind of a friction right there. Like the previous weekly closed at this area and the next weekly opened at this level, showing you that this was indeed an important level. But anyway, we're above it now. Same thing from this weekly level, okay, 21. I was clearly looking at this level, but I saw no reaction, to be honest. 21,827. We blasted through it. Now we're above it. We took those highs, okay, and we actually went where? Hitting this monthly level that we just marked on our chart, and then now we're rejecting from it, okay, and we're below this high that was at 22,800-ish, okay. So all this is very, very technical. All this is very technical, and it's not happening by chance. It's not happening by it's not random pivots, is what I'm trying to say. All those pivots, they're very technical, they're very well respected, and the next one that we have to the upside is 24,300, basically. Okay, I'm gonna remove this one because it was hit already. I'm going to remove this one as well because it's hit. Okay, and I don't want to be trading levels that have been hit. I want to trade levels that are completely untapped for a better setup probability. Okay, and this is our next weekly level at almost 30k. Another key level in my opinion. Okay, and I think we can stop here. I think this is enough because of exactly what we said earlier. We have a monthly level that is marking the top right there. Okay, we have a weekly level here. You can notice something very, very interesting on the weekly level. Okay, above here you have this weekly. You have another weekly at 30k, which I think is going to be the last line in the sand. And should you reclaim this, I can foresee this rise being super fast, very fast, because we have no weekly levels, no monthly levels. Probably we'll have daily levels, but look at the speed of this drop. Okay, so this area, I would qualify this area as a very low risk, low resistance area. We didn't create any kind of resistance. The same way I'm telling you that we haven't created any support below because we rise super fast. For me, in this drop, we haven't created any kind of resistance. Should we test them again? Okay, until we arrive in this consolidation area. But I mean, all here, you have nothing. You have nothing. So you're opening the possibility of so if we're really lucky, we're going to have a 95%, like I showed you on the monthly. But let's go on a more lower time frame, a weekly level. You have a potential 50% rise should you reclaim the 30k area. This weekly order block that you can see right there. See this green thing here? That's an order block. It's like a drop, and then you have like a bullish a green candle, and then another drop. Okay, this here is an order block, and so in this area, you're sure that you're going to meet some kind of a resistance. But should you reclaim it, you're opening a possibility of a rise of 51%. So it's important to have this picture in your mind, okay? Not keep on shorting, and understanding what the market is telling us. The market is telling us that at least locally, we put a low, we took the previous high, and now should we retrace and we put a higher low, we could be potentially changing the market structure on the weekly level, okay? We already took two important highs on the weekly level, so it's already starting to look bullish, okay, on a very high time frame level. But give it some time. This is what I'm saying. Right now, it's just a possibility that's opened. Pretty high possibility, to be honest. But since we're still inside of this range, I wouldn't call this fully bullish uptrend towards the 45K yet. We need to see more signs of strength, okay? So, on the weekly side, this is what we have. Let's zoom out again, and then we're going to mark the daily levels, okay? Daily levels are more suited for intraday's trades, okay? So if you're a day-to-day trader, those daily levels provide really amazing respect as well. So we have a daily pivot right there, okay, at 2673. The next one that we have to the downside is here, okay, and then you have another one here, okay, and another one here, okay, etc. So in that case, what I'm going to do, I know that those daily levels are correct pivots and they might provide some support, but I'm just imagining this. It's that if we drop towards this area, are we really going to bounce from this daily level alone, or are we going to be looking for this higher liquidity area below those lows, for example, or even the ultimate lows? Most probably we're going to go lower. So in this scenario, I'm going to remove those daily levels, okay, because most probably they're not going to provide the reaction that we're expecting. They might, but it's not the best trade setup that you want. And we are looking for the best trade setups, okay? Okay, so let's keep on going. You have a daily here, a daily there. You have a daily level lower as well that hasn't been tapped. This one, you can see it. This one, I would keep it. And we've been having it for quite a while now. It was created on November, so before the start of this uptrend. And what I really like about this level is this double bottom here that wasn't taken out. So this is where I could imagine a drop could bring us to. It could bring us to this daily level, take out this liquidity. Everybody that's been in the long here, nobody took profits here because that's it. We're going to all-time highs. And then you drop where? Towards this area of liquidity that we know people put their stop losses below. You hit this daily, you take everybody out, you reclaim it, tack, and then you go back up maybe. Possibility, or you just range inside of that. But there is this like liquidity pocket that could act as a magnet, and having the daily level right below it is interesting. And then you have another one, another daily level a bit below. It's right there. Okay, 15,744. We know for a fact that there's a daily level that was created before that. I'm not going to mark it now because we're higher than this. But we know that here, the same reasoning that you have a double bottom right there with a daily level below, we also have a daily level at 15. Okay, you know what? Let me mark it. Because it is one of our favorite long setups, but we're far from it now. So this was created, look at that, in November 20. Okay. Yeah, that's the one. You see this daily pivot right there? Okay. Create a daily pivot and then you pump again. Never backtest it again. Okay. So this magically happens to be right below this liquidity pocket right there. Okay. It's true that we did SFP this previous low, but from such a low perspective that you could expect that more longs are below this and you could expect a drop towards this daily level. Let's keep it on, okay, just in case. And then to the upside, what do we have? Let's see that. So we had a daily level here. Let's see the reaction that we had, okay? We had one daily level here. Look at that. Look at this reaction. We had a daily level that was created on the 6th of November, okay? So before this drop, okay? And you can see that this daily level was wicked once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and there was a drop, and then we broke through it, okay? And I'm sure that if we zoom in maybe to the 4 hours, let's see, to the 1 hour, yeah, look at that. So that's super interesting. Resistance, 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 resistance. Again, you drop below it, okay? You create this daily level below. What happens next? You can only sell a number of times. At some point, the selling side is getting exhausted, okay? And then the next try, you get above it, and look at this. Look at this perfect back test that you had here. I'm gonna remove that. You go above it, test it once, twice, and that's it, you go. Here, you clearly flipped it as a support, and you never looked behind anymore. So this was a key level, and it was hit, and it was taken out, and now it's a support. But I'm going to remove it because it was traded through, okay? And I don't want levels that have been traded through. I want to keep like a really clean chart, okay? And did we have another daily level? Interesting. We had this one right there, okay? That is actually now flipped into support. You can see that we're back testing it as a support. So same reasoning. We had a daily level that was created here before this drop, okay? And look at what happened. We broke through it. Once it's breaking, it's broken, sorry. What happens? Trade it through, it becomes a support. Resistance, support, flip. This is something very, very, very common. You need to know this. You need to know this pattern. In trading, it's super important. It's important for your take profits levels. It's important for entering in trades. And it's important to understanding why we are bouncing from those levels that was previously a resistance. Because it's a resistance, support, flip. Okay? And yeah, this is what happened. We hit it, we went a bit below it, and now we're above it again. So technical. So technical. What's the next level? Well, surprisingly enough, there is no daily level above us, okay? So, which is actually good if you're expecting higher prices, because it's one resistance less. And the next one that you have is here. But actually, I would favor... this one was hit. I mean, look at the respect of those levels. It's crazy. Wow. Wow. Look at that. We created here a daily pivot on the 1st of June. A bit of back testing here, just to show you the strength of those pivots. We created in the 1st of June 2022 a daily level, a daily resistance at 31,756. Look at what happened next. On the 6th of June, so 5 days later, I mean, it's crazy. You're talking about a front run of how much? Less than 0.03%. A $10 front run. This is a touch, okay? And this is an amazing touch. This daily pivot was the high, okay? Was the last high before the big drop. So cool. So cool. So it was touched, okay, but because it was like the last high before the drop, I'm gonna keep this one, okay? For me, it's a key level. I'm gonna keep it. And the other reason is it's at the highs of this previous range. And I like to have a daily level at the highs because it can provide the resistance for rejecting the price and offering you a really, really nice trade setup, okay? Should this daily level be in between like that, if it was touched, I would probably remove it. But because it's at the highs of this range, I like the additional confluence of being at the highs of a range, okay? You always like to sell at the highs of ranges, okay? Plus, you could envision that you take the highs and then you drop below the daily level, back test it, and then you drop, okay? This is a possibility. Now, let's just take this here, okay? You could imagine something like that. So let's keep it for now. And so those are the daily levels to the upside and to the downside. Let's mark them down. Daily. Okay. And so we marked our pivots. We have our weekly pivots, we have our monthly pivots, we have our daily pivots. Let's put them all on, okay? And you can see something very, very interesting. It's that we dropped here super fast, we ranged, and what happens once you reclaim the highs? You pump super fast. Towards where? Where is the first line of resistance? The previous high. Okay? And this was something we talked about in the previous stream. We were trading inside of this area. We were saying that 19,200 was a key resistance here in this area. It was a key resistance, but we knew for a fact that this drop was so quick, and it is such an inefficiency area when you see something like this, that the possibility for a short squeeze is real, and it can just pump super fast. And we said it. We said, if you see no reaction or no strong reaction, do not think that that's the top, because the market probably is going to squeeze you up towards this next level here. And this is exactly what happened. I mean, it's not magic. This is how markets work. Markets are attracted to liquidity and to those inefficiency areas, because there is no support, no resistance. You can just go through them as if it was nothing. This is like wind. This is like a bag of chips. There's nothing inside of that. You just go straight through it. Okay? And so, because we know that, we have the same reasoning to the upside. Okay? Here you have nothing. Okay? Here you have nothing. And once you enter back the range, then you can add some volume profile into those mini ranges, okay, to see where are the next levels. But in between, nothing. And this is why I'm telling you from now on that if you go above this level right there, I'm going to show you something cool. Perfect SR flip, okay? Support, you go back here, range, drop. This support now becomes, this wick now becomes a resistance. And look at that. The perfect resistance to the upside, to the dollar. To the dollar. This time it was touched, like 209, 1022. You're talking about less than $20 difference. So cool to see. So cool to see. So what I was saying is that if we reclaim this level, and this is why for me 25,212 is a key level in my mind. If we reclaim this, then we're up for the next range, okay? And this is where we can see. So go back above this weekly. We don't see an SFP of the highs and then you drop, because then you would be just ranging. And so once you're above this and you reclaim it, yeah, you can see a rise here on a more daily time frame perspective. A 26% rise is not at all weird to envision. It's not something not realistic, because this is what the market is showing you. It's showing you there is no resistance above. So that's super interesting to see. So now that we have those levels, we want to understand where are the volume levels, okay? So we know that we are inside of a range. It's pretty obvious to see. And for people who don't see it, I'm talking about this range right there, okay? We're inside of this range right here. And until you actually break this range, let's do it like that, okay. Yeah. Until we actually break this range toward the upside or towards the downside, we are totally range bound. So when you're range bound, what do you think? You think, okay, we're arriving to the highs. Here, you don't buy. Here, you don't buy. Okay, you buy here. Okay, you buy when you see like a drop in an uptrend, you buy at the lows, okay? But you do not buy when you're at the top of the range. And even here, it's not an amazing buy, to be honest. To be honest, this here for me is not a good buy at all. But on a swing level, I'm talking about the swing time frame perspective, okay? You buy in those areas, okay? You sell in those areas, okay? And if you see the reaction, it gives you more confidence, of course. You do not preset limit orders. You want to see the market showing you that you're right. When do you want to sell? Well, you want to sell if you kind of see that you go above here, you try to get acceptance inside of this range right there, and then you drop, and then you lose this key level of 25K, and you see a market structure change to the downside. You're making lower highs, lower lows, lower. On the back test, you can think about selling, for example, okay? Or a simple SFP, okay? You go above those highs, you take the liquidity, you drop. This is a very acceptable short trade. Very acceptable short trade. Take profits fast though, because you're in an uptrend. But should this be an uptrend that goes and that just stops at those highs and then you start ranging? I mean, this is completely possible scenario. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't this be the case? Look at how long we ranged here, right? We ranged here for a while before dropping. It started on the 21st of January, January 21, and it ended in May 22. More than 1 year of range. So why can't we envision the same thing in this area? Okay, started in June 22, and then we can see this range forming at least until June 23. Why not? It's possible. So this is why I'm saying that you do not, even if this is bullish, and even if you're expecting super high prices, this is not the entry for a long setup. Okay, if you have a long from here, amazing. If you don't have one, stay composed. Do not buy in a rush. Do not FOMO in, because what is also highly probable is that either this is a local top or this is going to be the top of the move, and then you start dropping. Because remember, we are still in a downtrend. On the high time frame since 69K, we dropped. We dropped heavily. From here towards where we are now, we dropped from 65%. So no reason to be extra bullish here. So what do we do here? We have our range. So obviously we're going to pull some fixed ranges. Okay, that's what we do. So let's remove this to make sure that we pull it from the right place. So where do I like to pull it from? From this, the first, like on the daily level, the first green candle, okay? And this will provide me with the value area high. So I know for a fact that Pierre did it from before. So let's go on the 4 hours to see his pull. And I'm sure that if you do this, you're going to have like some kind of discrepancy. Yeah, okay. Let me just mark it from now. So here is the value area high. Okay, we are trading above it and now we're below it, back below it. That's important. Okay, that could mark a start of a reversal or a bit of a retracement. Okay, nothing goes up eternally. You need some retracements. It's important. Value area low here, and then point of control right there. Okay, and this is the volume profile of our. Pierre, did you just join? I can hear you.
Here.
Okay, amazing. So I was just saying that actually, look, this is the volume profile that I had, that I posted in Discord, if you remember. Volume profile.
Yeah, we have not the same.
We don't have the same. I'm just going to remove this level and I'm going to show what is your fixed range pool. So most probably if you go on the 4 hours, you might have a bit more. Let's say you take from here, 13th of June. Okay, towards here. Where is that? 6 now. I think you took it from before. What was your first? You took it from here?
No, I think I took it from the 1 hour or the block.
1 hour. Let me see on the 1 hour what you have. It's good to have it in mind, because if you put it from so you took it from here. Okay. And if you do like this no, even before. You actually took the one that's higher, I think. You took this one.
Yeah, the wick.
Yeah, you see? And this is where the discrepancy is. Okay, so for me, both of them are right. So this one is 22,700. I think you had 800, so I guess it's maybe USDT or some discrepancy. But basically, this is, I mean, when you know that there's this pool, this is an area. See it as an area, okay? The value area high. We hit it, went above it. Right now we're below it. We're below this consolidation range, okay? This could transform into maybe like you go below it, you back test and you start dropping. Maybe we could start forming a range inside of that, okay? This would be some kind of a local deviation inside of this range, okay? Go back here and then we'll see what happens. But what I mean to say is that even if we drop from this value area high, it doesn't mean the uptrend is weakened. It just means that it's a logical retracement. We've been rising for we rose up for 50%. People need to take some profits at some point, and this is when the price is going to start, correcting for a while, and it's not a bad thing. Now,
yeah, that's normal, especially since we've hit the monthly level, which is a great level of
Exactly,
importance.
exactly, which is above here.
Yeah,
Let me put it again, this monthly level, okay? This
yeah,
could be actually a local top. And I could see it from here, to be honest. I could really see it, that this is a small deviation. We drop here, and we finally take this liquidity below. Look at that. Look at how many lows that we have right there. You have one low here, one low here, one low here. That was not challenged. So in the same way that we took all those lows with this wick here and then we went above, why can't we take those lows as well? Keep in mind this scenario. Okay?
or we could just
Oh, my bad.
do a SNR flip of the highs
Here. So
of
what
this
you're
range.
what you're
Yeah,
saying is that basically you come here. Here you have a resistance that is now flipped into support. You hit it and then you
yeah.
bounce. Okay, like I showed you previously on previous price action. So yeah,
It's one scenario.
it's clearly one scenario. So what we're doing right now, concrete, it's we're ranging here. Okay, we're trying to figure out what is the low. So we had some lows here that were taken out. Okay, see one low, 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 higher lows. They were taken out today actually since 9, and now we're actually struggling to get above the value area high. So let's see what happens. And you see we rose super fast here, so we could go back down super fast into this range. This is a possible scenario. And this would still be bullish in my mind. Losing those lows, though, would start to look bearish because we reject fundamentally. We had a failed auction of value area high. We took the lows, and supposedly we're changing the market structure. Potentially, we could start aiming for the point of control. Okay, and this is in itself a 14% drop. Okay, but until we start seeing this kind of weakness, and this is what I mean by weakness. By weakness, I mean taking the lows and not being able to reclaiming them and dropping further and changing the market structure. Until you see this, we are still in an uptrend. Remember that. It's very, very important. I really think market structure is key here in understanding what's happening. Okay. So fixed range, I remove this. What can we have more? We had some Fibonacci levels, but now we're above every single one of them, right? We had from this high right there. Jesus Christ, okay. Here, towards here, okay. So we had here the 618 and the 66%. And then you have the 786. Okay, so we rejected from the 786 as well, okay. The monthly is way more on point, but you also had the 786 of this whole swing move to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pivots, 5 bearish pivots. And this is a 786. We never confirmed above it, and then we dropped. Okay. Aside from that, there is no Fibonacci resistance inside of this range. The next one that we could be pulling, though, is from here. Here you have this previous consolidation area. I'm taking this high that you might not see on your screen, but it's pretty visible on mine. Up, my bad. Oh my god. I think it's not even the low. Okay, here it is. So here you have something, okay? This could be interesting. Should we do something like that? You go above the monthly level, you reclaim it, resistance support flip, you go back up, you take this high. What do you hit? 618. You drop below the high, and then you lose the monthly level. This could be a scenario that you should have in mind. SFP of the highs of this whole range, this 7-month-old range. Take the highs and then you drop, and where would be the local top? The 618 from this mini consolidation range. Okay? Big possibility. But right now we're not there yet. So you have this Fibonacci pull from here. Where is the 0.5? Let's see. It's still a bit above. Yeah, there's nothing really, no big confluence. Let's see what happens here. Do we have like some kind of a confluence? Yeah, you do have the point of control.
Kinda, yeah.
You have the point of control here. So this is a bit, I wouldn't say advanced, but this is like with practice you can see them. So inside of those ranges, you have like mini ranges, mini consolidations area. Here you have one, okay? You can spot it here. It's interesting to see that the point of control of this area that was not hit yet, it's above the monthly, is right at the 0.5 of this this pivot high, this key pivot high, and this key pivot low. There is a confluence here. Now, is this going to be the top? I really don't believe so. I think you can have a short scalp from here because of the nice confluence, okay? But I wouldn't say that this could be the top. Is there a weekly? We have a weekly though. We're starting to build a case for this thing. So let's put it that way. Okay, in that case, because now we're having three interesting confluences, we can say this. We can say that this here is our next local resistance. Okay, it is. Point of control here untapped. Okay, we haven't revisited anymore. The .5 that is really well respected on the Bitcoin, and a weekly level untapped. Okay, so this is a resistance right there. What you can think to yourself is that this is a local resistance and you still think it's going to go higher. Okay, so just mark it here, and if you see some kind of a price action that goes into it and start losing it, and you see on the lower time frame a change in the market structure, okay, maybe on a retracement you can enter into a scalp short or a day-to-day trade short. You put your stop loss above the high and you take it to the next area of support or local support. Okay, but if you do this, remember something. This is not the best resistance. Okay, this is like, I would see it more as an intraday, some kind of a resistance that can be broken through. Okay, and you're still in an uptrend. So don't think that you have the high. It's highly probable that you don't. And it's highly probable that, like everybody that's been shorting this whole uptrend, you're going to get subbed out. So you take profits fast. Uptrend equals take profit fast. Okay, on a short. On a long, you trade your stop loss and you maximize your trend. But on a short, if you're looking for shorts, because we're at high levels, you take profits fast because it's more highly probable that you get stopped out.
Especially since there is so much liquidity out there.
Yeah, there is. You even have this. You see this this little high right there? Yeah. I'm talking
I
about.
shorted that one.
You see? It was already when we were going down. We took the liquidity and then we dropped, and now this is another key high right there. So I'm just going to put it here, mark it as an SFP kind of level. But this is what I'm saying by we can, you see, it's right above our, so we can actually extend it to here. You could see a move towards the highs, drop below the weekly, and this could be your entry for a little short setup. But again, this is not my favorite setup. It's a potential one, 24,400, but it's not my favorite one.
Yeah, keeping in mind that the favorite SFP is the 25k one.
Of course. The best high that we have is this one. Okay, no,
Yeah,
there is no arguing in this for so many reasons. Perfect SR flip of this support level into a resistance. You take the liquidity and then you cannot gain acceptance into this higher range. This could be an amazing short setup should we see a reaction. Okay, but yeah, right now we're not there yet, but it's important to know that this is our next key resistance, in my opinion. So now that we know that we are potentially seeing some kind of a reversal on the high time frame, let's say that our scenario is not that we reject from 25k, but you actually gain acceptance into this higher range right there. Okay, so what do you want to do? You are going to be pulling a fixed range pull from here to here. Okay, let's put it towards here and let's take this one here. Okay, why? Because this is a consolidation area that is going to provide a resistance, because here you can see that there was a range forming. Okay, and the volume levels are pretty well respected as well. Just look at that. Okay, look at the value area low, it's crazy. Look at the value area high, also crazy. Okay, look at that. Those levels, and here you support, you go below it, you back test it, and then you drop. Okay, those levels are very well respected. Okay, and then you have the strongest level, in my opinion, which is the point of control. That is super important because it's a psychological level. It's $30,000. Super important level. Let's call it point of control, previous consolidation range. Okay, And what's super cool about this level, it's that it's aligned more or less, give or take $150. But in this area, and because we're talking about high time frame levels, for me this is a confluence. It's aligned with a weekly untapped level. So this is, should we reclaim the 25k area? Okay, should we see like a back test here? Personally, I don't think I would not see us hit this level, and this would be the best short setup in my opinion. Locally, huh?
Yeah,
So
there's a few in between, but yeah.
so if I had to say like what are the best setups that I have in mind, okay, I would say I have this one right there. So a short of the high of the range, and you're talking about a 38%, almost 40% short trade for a 3% stop loss. It's going to depend where the wick goes, okay? But let's imagine that we have this scenario where you have a wick and then you go here and then you start dropping, okay? You adjust, you put your stop loss above it here, okay? And then when you start seeing a market structure change, you can enter on a retracement, and you can have potentially, if you have a sniper entry, you can have a 4% stop loss for a 40% almost potential gains. This is an amazing trade. You're talking about how much? Yeah, and a 9.5 ratio. It's a crazy trade. Okay, so this is, for me, the first setup that I would have in mind is checking the reaction at this level and potentially entering at the swing failure pattern right there. Okay, I would take profits, as I said, fast. Where would be the first area of take profit? Right there. Oh, sorry. You see this weekly level? This would be the first area of take profit, okay, for this swing trade, okay? Now, if you treat it as a scalp, of course, you're not going to wait for a 4% drop before taking profits, huh? This is 3.5%. So you have all the other intraday levels that you can trade, like on the 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But if you treat it as a swing and you think this is going here in this area, your first take profit, interesting one, would be this weekly level that is now then a support. So at 24,000. You enter at 25,200 and you take profits at 24,300. Okay? And this alone is a 3.5% first take profit. And then you put your stop loss at entry, or you even keep your stop loss above and you keep and you trail your stop loss should we start seeing a reversal from here. First setup in my mind. Second setup is the one that we talked about, is this one here, I would say. Okay? We're going to add a bit more TA because I'm sure that we're missing some naked point of control and things like that can provide some interesting confluences. Good Lord. Oh my God. Okay. Let's just see that. What do we have? 786 here. So I'm taking this high, which is the high before the drop. Yeah, that's what we had before. 618 right there. Okay. See? That would be crazy. Like your stop loss, you see the rejection in here, and then you enter as soon as you go below this level. Or you can, if you're super aggressive, but be careful. As soon as we lose the 618, you can enter. Envisaging that we have a swing failure pattern of this range. Everybody gets bullish, and you're smart enough to understand that this is just a range that's forming. And we know the high, we know this is a 618 on a high time frame level, and you take a short because invalidation is very, very close. This could be a good trade. Okay. So, next one would be here. Okay, let's set the weekly level. You could have something in this way, okay, where you want to take it as well. So in this setup, should you start dropping from here, you're not thinking, okay, that's it, I'm gonna drop here. Okay, you're thinking, okay, this is a good area for people to take profits and to short and to have some kind of a retracement in this uptrend. Okay, so a logical place where you can take this trade would be this previous high right there. Okay, that could be interesting. And then you see the value area low right there. This could be your first take profit. So let's put the value area low of this previous area right there. I'm giving you ideas. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm telling you how I would personally trade it when I see all those levels. Okay, this would be the first TP for me. Should I enter this? I short the point of control with the weekly level because I see an interesting reaction. I take profits at the value area low of the previous range. Okay. Should we start dropping more? I know that we can drop super fast. The next area, interesting area, because we have nothing here. Next interesting area is this high at 25k, and this alone is another 15% trade for potentially a low stop loss. Now you could go up here, but then the trade is not interesting anymore. Like you put it above those highs. So you have this area here, and then the next one would be taking those highs. Okay, but honestly, if we start reclaiming this point of control, I'm not seeing us reject from here and then dropping more. I'm seeing us potentially going back into the previous range. Okay, and that's where maybe we should start having a fixed range pool of the whole range. And see what happens if we do that. Ho ho! Ho ho! Look at that. This is a high time frame level here. Huh?
It is.
It's a very high time
Big
frame
level.
level confluence. You have the value area low, which was the amazing, like the perfect low here, and it's reproduced by this little consolidation area. So actually, I thought, without having this pull, I thought that this is not that big of a deal, but this is going to be a big resistance because you're entering the value area low of this whole range, okay? And you're opening the possibility of all this price action to be a deviation of this whole range. And if you get acceptance here on the high time frame and you start taking the highs, the next level is the point of control. Here. Okay? And now you're talking about amazing jumps, like talking about $47,000. So actually this is the key level. Let's play a bit around and see if we have other fixed range pools. If we go a bit towards here, it's the same fixed range pool here. We take this here, it's the same one. And what if now we just want to take the upper range before we drop, and it's still the same one. Okay. So yeah, there we have it. This 28,700, 28,600 area is going to be key.
It's a big one, yeah.
It's going to be key. You need to have this area in mind. Okay, because on a technical side here, the story that you're telling, should you get acceptance above this, is that all this range, this was a deviation below it, you know? The same way we had a deviation above it here, deviation above it here, and then we dropped, we have a deviation above it, and then we rise again, okay? Towards where? Point of control, value area high. You need to have this big picture in mind. You need to know what's happening on the big picture, because this is a possibility. And pretty big one, to be honest. So, now that we know this for me is a key level. And I'm gonna mark it as such. I'm gonna mark it as a value area low. Key, okay, value area low. Global value area low, I'm gonna call it. Okay. Key level to reclaim. That's so cool to see. That is so cool to see that we are finally arriving. We're back inside of this range. Like seeing what's gonna happen now. Are we going to gain acceptance inside of this range, or are we going to backtest the value area low and then drop furthermore? So everybody needs to have this level in their chart. 28,700. Do we have? No, we don't have any pivots, market structure pivots here. Okay, could have been cool. Okay, let's see. Okay, just because I just want to pull this right there. I'm doing it live with you. I'm just trying to find interesting levels as well. Okay, I'm seeing another confluence here at the top, huh? That would be the last short that I would envision. Should we go higher than this? That would be the last short I would envision inside of this range. Okay, if if we reclaim the point of control, this confluence, this 0.5 since here, since March last year towards here, arrives perfectly on the daily level and at the highs of this consolidation range, I could see some kind of a scalp trade, okay, to take here. You take the liquidity above and then you drop below, and then you can take it maybe towards the lows of this range, yeah. But honestly, I think if we get above our global key level, which is 28,750, 28,600, 28,700, take it as a zone, okay. If we get above this, it means we gained acceptance into the higher range, and that is support lip area, okay. Should we get above this area, and that would be that start to look very, very bullish, okay. You have some short opportunities to take, but honestly, the high time frame story that's being told is that potentially we're seeing a reversal towards the highs of the range. So you need to think in terms of longs instead of shorts. And that's where we're going to take our analysis now. Let me just do something before. I'm going to check out on exocharts if we have any kind of naked weekly points of control and naked monthly point of control. Okay. There's so many things to say. I'm sorry if this is going to be a long one, but it's really, really important. We're arriving at key levels, okay, in the Bitcoin chart. So we have a naked daily point of control right above it, but I'm not talking about this. What I want to see is on the weekly time frame. Yeah, the sample is too low. I'm going to take 1 year. Okay, I want to see on the weekly time frame what we have above. If you guys have any kind of question, please ask. Huh? So, let's wait a bit. Okay. So we have levels above. As expected. Okay, where's the next one? The next one is here. And this is 23,987. What is at 23,987? Okay. Sorry, up 23. Oh god. So here we have a naked weekly point of control. Okay, so it's important to. Where did it go? Okay, let me put it again. 23,987. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. So we have an additional confluence here. We have the naked point of control. So we know that this was a point of control here. It's actually a naked weekly point of control. You have the weekly level also. So we're starting to build some kind of a day trade setup for this area before the 25k and those key levels. Okay. So next, let me just remove some things on the chart because it's getting out of hand. It's a value or yellow. I'm gonna remove that. I'm gonna remove that. This I'm gonna keep it. Move that. Remove that. Fibonacci out. Okay. Let's remove all the brushes. Okay, fixed range pool. What is that? That's the high. Let's remove it. SFP, we don't care. Okay. Point of control. And what is that? Okay. That's okay. So let's clean up everything. What's the next level that we have above? So we have, we set this one, 23, and that's the one that I want to see. Okay, you see, that's the previous consolidation area. Okay, and this is exactly 3662. Wow, that's a crazy level. That's gonna be a crazy level. Right on the point of control, which makes sense to be honest. But it's nice to see that it's also a naked liquidity. Like you have liquidity to take here, and this is a naked weekly point of control. You see the confluences that are piling up here. You can't even see the name of the levels. So here is definitely an interesting level. Plus you have this order block right there, and I'm pretty sure that if you want to see what's the point of control on the 30th of May 2022, it was at 29,637. That was a bit lower. Okay, it was a bit lower, but it's still, you know, contained inside of this. So yeah, this is an area of resistance that you need to have in mind. This is what I was looking for. I was looking for naked point of controls in our confluence areas already. This is how much? 35,987. Let's mark it down. $987. Ah, God. Okay, you know what? I tried, it's not working. 35,987. That's our next naked weekly point of control. And then what do we have above? And that's it. We have another one here, and that's it. We're above 43,562. Can you imagine the levels that we're mapping now? Come on, I had it. Okay, that's close enough. Okay. So we are mapping all those levels. Okay. Let me just remove this one and this one. And those are weekly naked point of controls. So naked point of controls. Oh, sorry, my bad. And let's put them here. Those are high time frame levels. Removing that, removing that. And those are like, okay, let's call them key levels for now, okay? Key levels. And let's remove them, remove that, and that, okay? I love to have clean charts. And now let's go on the monthly level. Wait a second. Below us, I'm seeing something really cool. 16,812. That's the lower times, lower side. Okay. 16,812. Let's put it before we finish. Okay. So that's the one. And we have another one that is a bit above here that we're probably going to create at the end of, tonight, beginning of the week. So 21,137. We could drop, but honestly, yeah, I think this is going to end up being a naked point of control. Naked weekly point of control. So let's mark it here. And that's basically it. That's how you... Jesus Christ. 21, 3, 7. Okay. Let's make sure. 21,137. 21,137. Okay. Let's put this one also here. So those are the naked weekly pointer control. Let's add everything up layers by layers. Okay, monthly levels. Monthly, we hit this one. The next monthly level is here. You have some kind of a, yeah, it's a bit close to this naked pointer control, but we're very far away from that. Okay, so let's close the monthly level right now. Weekly levels. Weekly levels, you're seeing a confluence of market structure and points of and volume levels here and here. So here is the first area we talked about, okay, where you can scalp or day trade a short, but keep in mind to take profits fast. And this is the best opportunity for me, the 30K psychological level. That's going to be very, very good. This I can already foresee that this is an amazing level, okay? To the low side, what do you have? You have a confluence here of this weekly level that we talked about already earlier and the naked point of control weekly level as well. Okay, this is also something interesting to see. And then below we haven't seen anything. We know that there's a naked monthly point of control in line with the daily level. We're not going to go to this one again. We talked about it in previous streams. And that's it. Let's add a bit of daily as well. Yeah, daily levels are not adding anything. Maybe here, let's say to the downside, you have the naked point of control, the daily level, but they're quite distant. So I wouldn't call this a confluence. And that's it. Yeah, in my opinion, that's it. Let's do the last thing we talked about, which is, let's go on the month. And let's do 1 month naked point of controls. I hope you guys are enjoying this because it's exactly what we do every week. Go through the levels one by one. It takes time, analysis takes time, but you need to have those levels marked. 40,137. 40,137. Oh, it's right above that. Okay. That's interesting to see. Okay. So you have a naked point of control that's right there. Okay, but that's it. And on the monthly, on the lower side, do we have something? Here, this was touched, and this one, yeah. Maybe this will become a monthly, but we'll have to see next week. Next week, when the monthly closes, we will see if we're below 2,900 or not, and if this is still the point of control of the month. Other than that, that's it. We have all our point of control levels, naked point of control levels. Is there a confluence between this and this? No. We know what are the areas to the upside. Let me just put them back. I'm gonna go on the 4 hours. It's honestly gonna be easy to trade, huh? At least in my mind, it's easy to trade. Here, next resistance area. Okay, very easy. Next resistance area right there. Then, should you claim this, the next big area is going to be the global value area low. This is very important. This is a level that you need to have on your chart until the point of control on this range. So I'm actually going to mark it like that, okay? This is going to be the next key level of resistance. This is an area, okay? Because you can hit this, you can go above it, hit the point of control, back test the value area low, and then lose it. And this would mean that you have a failed auction of the previous big range. And this could drop really, really, really lower, okay? So it's important to know that. So those are the two areas of resistance I'm seeing to the upside, and plus, of course, this one, where I could scalp something if I see a nice reaction, which is the potential SFP of this high. So, yeah.
I was gonna say.
You were gonna react to this. Okay. So if we had to put it like that, I would say you have one setup here. Okay. But again, we're talking about short setups in a strong uptrend. Not the ideal scenario, to be honest. Okay, towards the value area low, and then you have from the highs and this time towards the lows of the range, towards here. Okay, let's say you have something like that, and then here you would have a short. Ideally, I wanted to take it from here, the highest possible. Okay, it looks like that. You put, so what you want is if you put it above the latest high, it's a 6% trade, but I mean, you can envision something like that, you know. It's a rejection from the point of control of the previous consolidation range, from the value area low of the high range. This can go very low. Let me just put it like that. This can be a very, like a big swing trade that you keep, and a 48% for a 6% trade. It's a 7.4 risk to reward trade. Very interesting. This one is a 23, so that's crazy, and this is a 13. All those trades are amazing because of the very close invalidation and the potential gains that you can have. And honestly, even this one, you could take it towards here. Okay, so even this one is amazing. All those trades, very interesting, and you can make sure that I'll have alerts to each and every single levels to see if I take the trade or not. Okay, now to the downside. Let me just put this as short setups. Okay, to the downside. So to the upside, we're prepared. But now what we want to do is to be prepared should we drop more, and we want to get involved in the uptrend. Let's say you don't have a long from below. Okay, you have closed your longs. You're in profit, but you closed your longs. You want to enter back. So what is the next key levels that you want to have on your mind? Well, pop up the daily level. Let's add some Fibonacci. I'm just going to remove because I want to keep it simple. Okay, 618, 66, 65%. Don't really have a confluence. So, okay, you do. You do have one. First area of support that you can expect is this one here, locally. Okay. Locally, you have this area of support here. Why? Because it's the previous range high. It's the value area high of the whole consolidation area, and it's the 618 of this home, the golden pocket. Okay, so you have this here. So let's put it in green instead. Support area. Now, what would be the second one? The second one for me would be taking those lows here. And I know for a fact that we had a CME gap last week, right? Where was the CME exactly? Yeah. SIG BTC one, that's the CME gap. Yeah, 19,895. Okay. 19,895. Where does that take us? Okay, here, around here. And then let's put 19. CME gap. Okay, let's put it in white, and let's put this in white as well. Okay, CME gap means that the futures, the Bitcoin futures, they closed at the end of the week at a level and they opened super high. So you have a CME gap called the CME because of the futures market basically, and you can expect them to be filled usually. Okay. So I would say that the next area of support would be, I know it's a bit large, but it's basically taking the lows, maybe filling the CME gap, and then bouncing again. So what I'm envisaging is either this and then you go higher, okay? Or this, you take the lows and then you go higher as well. Both those scenarios keep the uptrend completely intact, okay? And they are very plausible scenarios and they're very interesting. Those are for me the best long setups that I could see here, if I'm not missing anything. What we could add to this, because we're on the lower time frame, is just daily naked point of control. I'm gonna add this on the last 60 days. Let's do it fast. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So where are we now? We're below. Do we have something? We have nothing. We have no daily point of control below. Okay. Oh, wait a second. No. I'm not seeing clear. We do. We have one here. 2774. 2774. Let me see this one where it goes. I'm just gonna remove the brushes. 2774. Okay, that's one daily. I like the confluence in this area. And I think the other one is basically the point of control of the range. 2937. Let me see that. Yeah, a bit above. 2937 right here. Okay. Could be another area that you want to have in your marked. Okay. So let's mark them all. Okay. Here. Basically the value area low of the range, the naked point of control, right? And the daily level untapped. The going to put it that way. The swing failure pattern of the lows. So let's mark it as well. Okay. And if not, the ultimate place where I would be interested in longing if I see a reaction is the filling of the CME gap, and then you go back up because you have the trend with you, basically. That's why. And so this would look like that in terms of setups. It would be like either something like that. Then you take it to the previous highs. You don't want to get acceptance inside, so you would see if there's any kind of a wick. Okay. So you can do it like that. This is the first setup. The second setup is around here. You always want to be lower on the lower side. Again, you go to the highs and then maybe below this. Let's say you don't take the stop losses. And then the third one that I would take would be the swing failure pattern. CME gap I would really have to see, because if we arrive here and I don't see the reaction, most potentially this is going to be ugly. So that's it. I think this sums up basically the levels. I don't know, Pierre, if you have anything else in mind. But I mean, we have our short setups, we have our long setups. Okay, should we reclaim the levels? Should we start dropping from the value area high? We have some levels, local levels of support that are marked here. The first level of support being 21,500. Okay, the second level of support being 2,670. And the last level would be swiping the lows. Sorry, that's the one. That was a misclick here. Okay. It would be a swing failure pattern of the 246 lows. Okay. Those would be the places where I personally would be looking for long setups. In terms of short setups now. So let's close all this. Let's go long setups. In terms of short setups, we talked about it already for a while, but short setups, it's higher time frame levels, and we have them right above us, okay? And in between, in my opinion, there's nothing really worth the trade. Or you would be taking like really scalp trades if you take the highs or the lows, like we just did actually during the stream. If you can see here, we're locally trading right there, and I saw during the stream that we actually dropped. So you have this here, okay? Value area low, value area high, point of control, this really local range. And you can maybe scalp trade to the highs and the lows, right? And here what happened is that we took those lows, okay, we dropped, and now we're back inside of the range. So you could envision like a rotation towards where? The high. Because you're in a consolidation area, you're still in the uptrend, you're back above the value area high. This is normal to think. You know, this is normal to imagine this kind of a setup, because it's highly probable. And this is a scalp long if you took it. I don't know, Pierre, if you took it, but this is a scalp long, clearly.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. it's a good level, and it's a level that you have that you could have in mind. Okay. And look, we're already making our way back. And the first take profit for this level would be, let's see if you have something here. Yeah, you do. So point of control, obviously. Let's add a bit of view up. Sorry, just removing the bands. Okay. The view up is here. So you could say that the view up is also here. This, yeah, I think the view up would be a nice first take profit. Maybe this also.
Yeah. That's my second take profit.
The view up.
Yep.
The view up, point of control, and then the highs. And why the highs? Because you have the monthly level that's above here. So the same way that you can, and this is how I would trade this range, honestly. Like you just take trades at the lows and at the highs. Okay. You see that you take the lows, you put your stop loss below 1%, and you take it towards where? The highs. And the opposite is exactly the same. You take the highs. Let's say we have a wick above. We go back below the monthly. Okay. Where to? Towards the lows. Okay. Or maybe the value area low. That's the only way I would scalp trade this range. Other than that, the bigger setups, you see them. We talked about them for a while now. They're above us. This weekly level above, the SFP of the 25K, and this big area of resistance that we need to reclaim if we want to see higher prices.
If we want to see,
Exactly. For the bulls, I think this is going to be like a make it or break it. Very interesting
Yeah.
week ahead. Okay. I think we're gonna stop it here because it's an hour and 30 already. I know I wanted to go through the ES, but I think it's going to be too long. What I suggest is maybe tomorrow we can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
Yeah.
maybe we can talk about it in Discord and we'll see if we do a stream about it or not. But basically those are the levels, guys. So yeah, trade safe. If you have any questions, we're here to answer them with Pierre. Just so you know, we're working on educational like content, really educational
Content. Yeah.
content. The first one that we have in mind is the risk management. I think it's the single most important aspect of trading that you need to master because if you
It
don't,
is.
you're gonna lose everything, and you want to protect your capital. Being a trader is protecting your capital. So this is going to be coming soon. We have everything prepared. We have the structure of the course. We'll see next week when we can do it. I think it's going to be very interesting, very educational. So if you have 30, 40 minutes to spare, I really advise you to watch it because we're going to be covering very important things in the risk management field. Okay? Mm. Other than that, trade safe, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, we're available on the Discord every day, day trading with Pierre, and we can answer any kind of questions. And we show you our setups as well. So feel free to join it. And I'll tell you to, yeah, I'll see you next week then. Bye bye, guys.
Bye bye.